All right, guys. So, episode 6 is out. I gotta be honest, I I liked it. Don't get me wrong. Listen, here's the thing. I'm gonna be honest. I was disappointed in this episode, right? But but I'm gonna be honest. Even a disappointing episode of Invincible is still like a 7 out of 10. You know. So I know it's gonna sound kind of wrong, me being like, and I think if I'm being honest, I'm gonna be probably more negative than I am positive this episode. But if I'm being real, it's still probably minimum 6 out of 10. Honestly, probably a 7. It's just how much weight I give to the personal stuff, right? So, what did I like? What did I not like? And are there a few pacing problems that I got? And that's basically what we're going to talk about tonight. So overall, I enjoyed it. I really did. I cannot stress that enough. I enjoyed the episode. However, I do not care about the electric guy. I don't care what his name is. I don't care what his deal is. I don't care. I don't know his name, and I, quite frankly, do not give a shit. Okay? I'm gonna be very, very frank. This guy is an egotistical asshole who is using the death of his loved ones, and even though he feels, I guarantee you, he feels inadequate, so he's taking it out on Mark rather than actually do something productive with his life. Instead, he gets pissed off at the guy who's trying to fix everything. And you know what? It does add an interesting aspect. And you know what I like about this? They don't try to make it seem like this guy is some misunderstood. Like, they try to show you sympathy for him, but they clearly treat him like a villain. Why? Because he's a villain. So I'm going to get right into this. Okay, so what's his backstory? Well, he was there, his wife, or not, no, his sister and his niece were in Chicago when Omni-Man and Mark fought. And they both died. They were the two people who died that Mark tried to save in the when he was fighting Omni-Man in Chicago. He pulled up the rubble. He tried to save them when the building collapsed, but then he pulled up the rubble, and all that was left was her arm. They're related to, bad guy of this episode, and obviously that's a valid reason. But then he tries to sue. He tries to sue Mark, or not sue. He tries to get Mark in a court order for under trial for the destruction he caused, which I can kind of see. I can understand that. To be fair though, it is really, they treat it as if Mark, or sorry, Invincible, as as they're talking about, is above the law, and that they don't account for superheroes. But it's just blatantly not true. Like, superheroes do suffer consequences for their actions on a pretty consistent basis, such as the Guardians of the Globe. They didn't train as much, and they've been getting their ass handed to them when they were going soft. And this required Cecil to bring back Immortal. And since they brought back Immortal, who isn't really up to speed and is not enjoyed by the rest of the Guardians, this eventually led to a breakdown in the group, and they all separated. So that's blatant consequences of actions and so on and so forth. And we see that. On top of that, Mark is still not liable for what happened in Chicago. Like, you cannot convince me otherwise. I'm sorry to tell people this, but Mark getting his ass beat all over Chicago is not his fault. Like, I'm sorry, guys, Mark did not do anything. Oh, he got punched. Gee, he should have got punched in the face less. Wow, you think he wasn't trying to do that? No, it's just Omni-Man was significantly more powerful than him. And when he punched him, he sent him into a city. That's it. Like, and here's the thing. We all see that. And you say, okay, well, this guy, he doesn't have access to that information, right? Wrong. That's wrong. He's literally working for the government. He's working for a special division that that is part of Cecil's branch of the government. So it directly deals with Omni-Man, and he would have access to those files. And we know he has access to those files because actually, Mark, when he fought Anessa, the woman he sat, I'm sorry, I'm not giving enough. So basically, him, another co-worker, and another, they all got lunch together, right? Makes sense? And one of them straight up wrote the report for Anissa, for Mark versus Anissa. So his coworker literally has access to all the information. So he should have access to all the information, considering he works for the same branch of government that she is in. So they all should have access to it. So he knows what happened between Mark and Omni-Man, but he doesn't care. He doesn't care. He still blames Mark. It's okay if you blame Omni-Man for what happened. Why? Because it's Omni-Man's fault. Being like, Mark, you got your ass kicked all over Chicago and you suffered no repercussions for it is stupid. Okay, to put into perspective, I guess this is like the best example. So imagine, right? Let's say you're walking down the street and your dad, for whatever reason, tries to run you over with a car, and he hits you with the car, but he doesn't kill you. You, like, get hit with it and you bounce away at the right angle and you bounce out of the way. And then your dad in this instance, driving the car, drives through a nursing home. How is it your fault that he drove through the nurse? Like, how is this his fault? And that's the thing. Like, they've been trying, but to be fair, I must give the show credit. They're not trying to give this man that much of a point. They're just trying to make you think about the little guy, which is good. They could have very, very, very easily made him super sympathetic and try to make him, oh, everything is Mark's fault. And then, but they don't. And hell, even at the end, he accidentally kills his own wife and kid. And then, once again, he blames Mark for it. And he gets mad, and Mark tries to calm him down, but he doesn't care. And I see a lot of people, they're praising this. And I'm going to praise the fact that he's actually treated as a villain. Because I'm going to be frank, this guy is not fucking sympathetic. He brings up a good point, but that doesn't mean he's sympathetic, okay? He's not sympathetic. He's not a good guy in any way. He's not, oh, I'm an anti. No. He's a villain, but he's a villain with a point, and the show treats it like that, and that's good. It challenges Mark on a different level, which is good, but at the same time, it's like, the show clearly acknowledges, like, Mark, you thinking about it, and it's good that you acknowledge that, but it's not his fault, and we all know it's not his fault. Like, not even the Cecil versus Mark debate, because I feel like both sides have pretty fair points. This is just blatantly, no, Mark is in the right. However, there is one aspect of the episode that did bring up conflict that I do think is much more interesting, and that is Oliver asking Mark why he doesn't talk about how Omni-Man has changed and how he regrets the things that he's done. And Mark does not tell the rest of the world except for Cecil and like people close to him about the Viltrumite threat. And it's an interesting concept that I hope gets brought up forward in the future. And it was genuinely good. So I am very happy for it. But once again, the main plot of this show, or the main plot of this episode, was power something. I'll put his name on screen. But yeah, him. And I think if it was less prominent in the show, it would have been better. Because I also think it dragged out because this was an entire episode. And next episode, they're teasing the Invincible War. I'm going to be honest, I've read the comics, so I know what's going to happen. But at the same time, I really don't, because like they're changing a lot of stuff. And sometimes it's for the better. Like, I'm going to be honest, Rex was a decent character in the comic, but Rex is fire in the show. He's fantastic, and he's the fan favorite, so, And they made Shrinking Girl a really good character. Like, they've changed a lot of things that honestly, the show's better. I don't care what anyone says. The show is better than the comic. You cannot change me otherwise. You cannot change my opinion. It will not change because it is fact. I'm kidding. But, yeah. So, I gotta be honest though, the one thing is they devoted so much time that I don't know if they'll be able, because I feel like the Invincible War should be at least 2 episodes, and I know for a fact it's not going to be 2 episodes. And if it is, then they're gonna tease another antagonist and move him to season 4, which would be nice, but at the same time I feel like you could have had both major antagonists this season if you just cut down on both the filler with Duplicate's brother, actually, and Power Lightning Trauma Man. I'm gonna call him that. Power Trauma. There we go. But like, and to be fair, what I just said prior was a mistake. I think referring to it as filler is disingenuous because there's no actual filler in the show, and I think trying to say that in order to make you believe my opinion is wrong, and that's my bad. But I do believe you could cut significantly more out of these 2 episodes and give more time for the Invincible War, just for to spread it out and make it better, because that is one of the bigger conflicts in the comic. So knowing that it's only going to have maybe 1 or 2 episodes, and honestly, if I'm being real, I don't think it will even get 2 episodes. It just really, really, really pisses me off, and I find it very disappointing. But apart from that, I know I've rambled a lot about the negatives of the show, or this episode in particular, but if I'm being real, it's still good. It's still 7 out of 10. Still good story, still good characters. God, man, Eve, Mark, and Oliver are such a good trio, though. I'm going to be honest, I wish I could see way more of them. And it's genuinely fantastic. So, yeah, there's definitely good parts of this episode. I'm not going to slate it for that. But I think the main conflict is the worst part of the episode, which is Power Dude. I don't care. And yeah, I don't like it. I like that the show is raising questions to challenge Mark on multiple levels, but I don't think it was executed that well. And I gotta be honest, I really hope. I haven't seen many videos on this, but I swear if I see like 10 videos about how this guy is actually right, I'm gonna lose it. So YouTube, please, 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 please do not screw me. I don't want to be making reaction content to other people's videos and calling them wrong. That's reserved for one guy who made a really bad YouTube video that's 2 hours and 28 minutes long. Oh, man. But yeah. Anyway, I gotta edit this video, and I'm working on some stuff, so look forward to that. Actually, I'm planning to do Conquest versus Whitebeard, so I hope you guys are excited for that. And yeah, overall, fine episode. Just I don't like the main antagonist, you know. Anyway, this is Rox signing out.